Lionel Sosa. Lionel was characterized in a political consultant article that I read as the godfather of marketing for Republicans to Hispanics. And I thought, this guy must be from Florida or California. And I looked him up, and come to find out he was from Floresville, Texas. Floresville, Texas is right in the heart of South Texas, just south of San Antonio. I was born and raised in Beeville. It's 60 miles from where I grew up, and I was shocked. And I was doubly shocked when I found his phone number and called him, and he called me back. And we had a great conversation, and he said, Debra, I can't help you with the governor's race. I know the governor and the senator, and I really am retiring from politics. That was my 7th. The McCain-Palin campaign was my 7th presidential campaign, and he said, I'm retiring. And I said, I understand that, Mr. Sosa, but you've been doing this at a very high level for a very long time. I really need some help. Refer me to somebody who can help get our conservative message out to Hispanics. It's soon to be a majority population in our state. Half of the kids are dropping out of high school. We don't fix that problem. We are not going to have a labor force. We're not going to have an economy to worry about. We won't have a labor force to put to work because everybody will be uneducated. The majority of our population will be uneducated. And he put me in touch with a couple of guys who said, Debra, you just got to have a conversation. And I didn't understand that for a while, but I started having that conversation. I started going to the Spanish language newspapers and to the Spanish media outlets. I've had people tell me, if you put your website in Spanish or you advertise in Spanish, I'm not going to have anything to do with you. And I said, well, then you're not going to have anything to do with me. We don't speak Spanish in my house. I wish we did. I wish my kids were bilingual, but they're not. My husband doesn't have an accent, but every time you get in his pickup truck, he's got the Spanish radio station on. That's the genre he likes to listen to. My son likes country western. My daughter likes God only knows what it's on. And I listen to talk radio. We've got to reach people where they get their information. So I went to Univision in Austin, Texas. You can see the Capitol from the Univision parking lot. I went early in my campaign when nobody knew who I was. And I said, I'm here to talk to you about the governor's race. They did an interview. They've got a Meet the Press type program that airs statewide across Texas. It's called Voce y Voto, the voice in the vote. It's a half-hour political program every week. Airs in every market in Texas. After we were done, I began to talk with them about what they were doing in their community. I've learned enough about Univisions to know that they're more than just a broadcasting station. They have a real sense of community involvement. They want to get involved in the community, and I was asking some questions, and I think because I showed an interest, the guy that interviewed me said, Debra, I want you to know Governor Rick Perry has never been to our studio. He's been your governor for 9 years. That's the fastest growing Hispanic community in the state in Austin, Texas. And not one time in 9 years has he been to the studio. We don't have leadership in Austin. We've got to care for all Texans, all of us. We deserve that. We need leaders who care about all of us. I really want to do that. I want to raise that bar, and I think Texans will jump at the chance to do more than what we've been doing and to do better. Not just for our families, but for the community around us. Yes, sir.
I don't have the question. I'll let my friend.
I was wanting to ask, I've got a really good friend who works for the Rick Perry campaign. He and I go round and round and round and round. I've been following you a long time. I really believe in everything that you've been saying. But he asked me a question that I haven't been able, one question that I haven't been able to answer, and that had to do with the debate Thursday night. And that was when you got to ask your question of Senator Hutenson, it seemed extremely softball. As far as you asked her, you complimented her on her following the Constitution of the United States, which, I mean, she voted for bailouts, and she voted.
I offered the disclaimer that she's not the only one who's not following the Constitution of the United States.
Okay, you said, in fairness, you alone aren't guilty of that.
You aren't the only one guilty of that.
Okay, well, okay.
I haven't watched the tape, but my intention was to say, I'll give you, you're not the only one up there who ain't following Article 1, Section 8. But if you don't follow Article 1, Section 8, the U.S. Constitution, 6 pages,
Right. And
what
this
can
one's
you
350.
give us that
Right.
you can follow a document that's
350.
350?
I listened to that 2 or 3 times. It's on YouTube. I've recorded it, and every time I listen to it, I hear it that other way.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that was my intent, was to say, I'll give you that you're not the only one that's not following it. If you're not following, none of your cohorts up there are following. Maybe I should have said that more
And
clearly.
anyway, that was something that he mentioned to me, and I had no comeback for him. I said,
Well,
and so
okay.
now I do.
I have not had time to watch the debate myself, and I want to do it critically, so that's a good criticism for me to have. But the intention of my question was, you haven't been able to follow a 6-page document. What assurance can you give the people of Texas that you will faithfully execute a 350-page document? And I did waffle a little bit and say, I'm going to give you, you're not the only one up there not doing that.
But don't you think that was a softball question? And the question is, why? And we're thinking that you had a whole list of things, and that they all got covered before you got down to that list, and that's all you had left.
You were tough on Rick
Oh,
Perry.
yeah,
You were very
yeah,
tough on him,
yeah.
and he made him stammer, and that was very impressive.
You don't even know what he's saying.
Yeah.
We knew that we were going to get, we knew as candidates, and I want to tell you that the whole context of the debate wasn't what I expected. The campaign managers had teleconferences with the station leadership, and I walked onto that stage believing that the first half hour would be the panelists asking us questions and us having 1 minute to respond to the question, and we drew lots to see the order that the answers would go. Rick was going to answer first, Kay second, me third. My campaign manager said, God loves Deb. And I got to sit in the middle, God loves Deb. And I got the last post-debate interview, God loves Deb. You know, it was really good things that were happening for us. It was just the luck of the draw. And the debate starts off, and Shelley Koffler asked the governor like 4 questions. And I was like, wait a minute, don't I get it? Didn't she get a chance to answer?
Yeah.
And then we got the question from the audience. We thought the first half hour questions, the second half hour, us asking one another questions, and we were told each candidate got 2 questions. But we weren't, in fact, we thought I won't get one. Rick will direct his 2 at Kay, and Kay will direct her 2 at Rick, and Debra, you can do whatever you want to do. And Kay understood 1 to each of us, but Rick didn't, and we didn't either. I had prepared questions, 1 for each, but we fully expected, and I expected that in the second half of the debate. I also thought we were getting a break in the middle. That wasn't at all what happened. So I don't know. You know, first time on that stage, you do the best you can, and I did not intend to just throw Kay a softball question, and I'm not going to pull my punches on her. There's a lot of speculation out there that she's got the perfect answer. She's not going to win. There's not a poll around, and she's losing points. I'm going in the right direction. She's not going to win. So Debra Medina is the perfect out for Kay Hutenson.
Yeah.
Stay in Washington, do your thing. You're concerned that the governor ain't going to bring the right leadership to Texas. Let Debra Medina do that. And so there were some who would say, you know, give her an opportunity. I'm not pulling my punches. I think they are 2 sides of the same coin. All of their solutions are big government ones. All of mine are limited government ones. And so I'm going to continue to try to draw that contrast. It was not my intent to softball that question to her.
Because you are going to be in the next debate.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I don't know any of the specifics. It's on the 29th. That's all I know.
You might want to get them.
Yeah.